It's tough to imagine nowadays, but there was a time it seemed impossible. Mickey Mouse, world-class icon and drunken abuser of cats, finally belongs to the people. We thought Disney would avoid it forever. They'd delayed the process twice already, but the chickens finally came home to roost. And on Twitter, there was a fairly large thread asking others to describe the cool, creative works that featured Mickey Mouse since he came into his new home. And there were several, along with some lamentations about how Mickey Mouse wasn't being used creatively at all, and that got me thinking. Who was the first? There had to be more than a few grifters, God knows. The world is not short of them, but who won the race? Who beat out all the bootlegs, all the redistributions of classic iconography? Who managed to get their feet on the ground first? Well, that's what I intend to find out. Join me on this episode of OK Jordan when we figure out a name just edited in here, where we will find out who Tokyo grifted their way into the #1 spot.
Like a rhinestone cowboy. Dun, dun.
We're looking for the guy who stole Mickey Mouse first. So where's the first place to look? Hey, ChatGPT, who was the first person to use Mickey Mouse outside of Disney the day he went public domain? Okay, thanks. That's helpful. Okay, let's see what Google has to say. Which person or project utilized Mickey Mouse in the public domain first? Helpful. I guess we'll have to do our own research. Let's see what our old friend Jimmy Wales has to say. On Wikipedia, the very first grifter was Mischief, the Satan Shoes guys. Yeah, that seems about right, actually. Their artsy-fartsy, neo-Banksy for-profit identity seems like the perfect thing for this kind of anti-establishmentarianist art piece. You may also know Mischief for the Big Red Boots, the Finger on the App competition, and the Times Newer Roman font. Honest to God, I actually like Mischief. I'm never gonna kid myself into believing they're like these incredibly incendiary artists who set the world alight for zero profit, but they're pretty decent trolls. When they make a thing, I usually see it and smile. Arguably a more noble goal anyway. They announced a piece of art they were taking pre-orders for as early as August 2021, and they were able to start legally designing the artwork on January 1st, 2024. That's cool and all, and the artwork would eventually look like this, but that's not exactly what I'm hoping to get to. It's almost a little too on the level? They didn't land first. It took them some time between January 1st and actual shipment, making for a fairly straightforward business deal. A piece of art that makes a statement about Disney owning art or some shit like that. No shade, it's a cogent statement. Yeah, I suppose it's cool. And they sure showed the man what for. But I want to know who grifted the hardest. Who did for Mickey Mouse what Blood and Honey did for Winnie the Pooh? I was then immediately pointed to Infestation 88, a horror game featuring the monochromatic mouse and... Oh, I'm sorry. It's not called Infestation 88 anymore? Because people think it's exclusively a Nazi number? Because people are still harping on about Walt Disney somehow being an especially bad anti-Semite for his time? And the guys actually changed the name due to the pressure? Now that's what I call grifting! We're finally getting somewhere. Infestation Origins is a co-op horror game featuring the monochromatic mouse that released on November 15th, 2024, to mostly positive reviews. It's currently in early access and available at... Wait, what? November 15th? That's not a grift! That's a perfectly reasonable dev cycle. No, this is all wrong. I need something worse. Something real slimy. I need the grift that keeps on grifting. We've got Bad Cheese, a horror game that's set to come out this year. No! That's that Steamboat Willie, no! January 4th. Aha! Brock Stub of Steamboat Willie. That's close. Okay, so who was first? Who, of all the grifters possible, had their not copyright infringement shotguns ready at the door for intruders? Who was the guy most dedicated to grifting while the grifting was good? We finally landed on The Vanishing of SS Willie, an amateur horror film based on the original short of Steamboat Willie. This one's complicated. How do I put it? I don't think it's grifting enough. The creators, Night Signal Entertainment, use redacted tags and narrative discretion to avoid actually using any of Disney's previously copyrighted material. Mickey Mouse's name has been redacted for discretion purposes. Certain information is missing, and it's not Steamboat Willie, it's the SS Willie. Others found it to be a controversial entry due to its reliance on AI-generated images, and that's certainly a legitimate angle to criticize it from. But to me, the quality of the film is irrelevant compared to the fact that it's a poor welcome for Mickey Mouse into the freedom of the public domain. There is no Mickey Mouse in this story. He's being parodied the same way we were always able and allowed to parody him. But if it's the first, then it's the first. Let it never be said I'm not a fair man. Let the record show that on January 1st, 2024 at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the very first project to utilize Mickey Mouse outside the public domain was the 11 a.m. So there were 11 hours in which the world was able to utilize Mickey Mouse for commercial purposes and just didn't? I don't buy that for a second. I live in a world of con artists, lowlifes, and vultures. Surely there was someone shameless enough to have let hardly a minute pass without being able to suckle on the dead teat of old Cryodome Walt himself. I got distracted from the Wikipedia article by Infestation 88, Origins. What's right after mischief? What is right after mischief? Who did it first? Why, that's Inverse Ninjas versus the public domain. Hey, I made that. It was me.
Jogman, I really need your help.
And I really need to find out who shot Caleb Redpear.
Oh, that's easy. I did.
What?
Homestar Runner, did you shoot Caleb? I sure did.
Here I was looking for the biggest con man this side of the Mississippi, the man who could never let a dead horse go unbludgeoned, and he was looking at me in the mirror all along. Some of you saw this coming. I appreciate you sticking around. Allow me to explain Inverse Ninjas one more time, and I promise I'll stop harping on about it. Inverse Ninjas versus the public domain was, well, is, a 4-player party game where you can choose between a number of public domain characters to fight a horde of evil ninjas that get stronger the fewer of them there are. The law of conservation of ninjutsu goes like this. In any martial arts fight, there is only a finite amount of ninjutsu available to each side in a given encounter. As a result, one ninja is a deadly threat, but an army of them are cannon fodder. I found the literalization of this idea to be funny, so I thought about it. What if ninjas really were more powerful the fewer of them there were? So I started making a party game. The core concept went like this. You have to kill your friend, but you can't touch them. So kill ninjas and then manipulate the ninjas, more powerful now, into killing your friend. Bing bang boom, party game. It wouldn't work out that way after playtesting, but I still had a prototype for a decent party game, a horde shooter, and then I ran into a problem. Characters. I found myself stuck between two ideas. A cast of overly generic characters, which would work fine, and does work fine in games like Duck Game and Boomerang Fu, both of which are great fun, but didn't appeal to me as a person, especially in a game where the characters might have different abilities. The other extreme to me was Nuclear Throne, full of really great character designs that are notable for being more interesting than their usage. YV and Horror are great designs that are compelling and make me want to learn more about them. There's not much to learn though, and I've always been a little sad for that to be the case. But what if a character could be both interesting and prepackaged with plenty of lore and intrigue and means outside the simplistic main game to continue interacting with them? And what if those characters were, oh, I don't know, free for anyone to use? And what if they were characters that I already love? You get it. And was it possible that Mickey Mouse was available? Well, by the time I got to this point, the answer was almost. I'd had this idea in October 2023 and spent the next few months feverishly getting everything finished in time for the grand unveiling of Robert Rodent. When the time came, and by the time I mean 12 a.m. on January 1st of 2024, I released the update with a nifty little trailer. No, Disney never got in contact. No one was angry. We got a number of people warning us about giving Mickey Mouse red pants that we may have intentionally not corrected, because it turns out getting people to give you advice is a great way to increase social media interaction. Mickey Mouse was featured in a promotional image the same year as Steamboat Willie that showed him in red pants. It was at that point that I decided I wanted a single-player campaign. Why? Well, because that's the kind of game I love to make. My back catalog is made up of story games. I'm a game writer at heart, and I like the uniqueness with which games can tell stories in ways no other medium can. My first two were visual novels, and those aren't even games. I was already bursting at the seams with ideas for Inverse Ninjas, and to keep people busy, we decided to drop another character, one that people wouldn't see coming.
I'll steal it! No one will ever know!
Yes, Dan Backslide, coward, bully, cad, and thief of Roquefort Hall and the iconic villain of the old Warner Brothers short, The Dover Boys. The entire short is public domain thanks to Warner Brothers just plumb forgetting to renew the copyright, back before the Copyright Act of '76 when you had to do such things. Hence why you can catch it in the background of Has Been Hotel, fancy that. In the meantime, I was planning something big, something huge. I'm gonna become the world-famous writer that I deserve to be, while raking in all the cash that my 1,000 of adoring fans want to give me more than anything. Screenshot of the Kickstarter here. There were a number of problems with the campaign, exactly all of them being my fault. But since then, the biggest grift of Mickey Mouse's the first grift of Mickey Mouse's new life has been on ice. Until now. The famous cartoon mascot is done lingering in the Disney vault, and the barrage of dark horror games doesn't seem to be suiting him any better. I thought it was time for a change, even if I had to do it on my own dime. Fuck it. It's time to finally give the world a fresh new retelling of everyone's favorite Disney mascot. That's right, we're doing Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
Adventure it is, then.
Sounds like my luck.
The culmination of a lifetime of work.
I think the only way out is through.
I've died before, but this feels quite different.
The Fall of the Public Domain has Mickey Mouse in it, but stars a character who has thus far managed to be utterly shunned by the limelight. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. He's a character I saw more than iconography in, I saw potential in. So at great cost to the marketability of the game, I decided he would be my main character. Episode 1 is out right now and bundled with a party game Inverse Ninjas vs. the Public Domain, and I've currently got a Patreon dedicated to helping me pay for some of the services from other artists to help with the production quality. If you would like to help with episode 2, patronize me over. Don't patronize me. Donate is what I meant to say. Become a patron over at the Inverse Ninjas Patreon, or like and subscribe so that I could make a little extra cash for the game in this YouTube, maybe. Who knows? In a week, I'll be giving keys for Inverse Ninjas away for free to 5 chosen people who comment, like the video, and subscribe to my channel. Okay, I can't actually tell if you like the video or subscribe. I was just kind of hoping that would work, sorry. But I am serious about the other part. Comment below, and check out my latest video to see just how serious I am about this exact kind of thing. And thanks for stopping by.